Hey guys, so I'm going to just record this over my PowerPoint just to make life a little bit easier. I've tried to record this a few times and I either get interrupted or I don't know what happened to the video. So here we go, quick and easy. Today we're talking about homeschooling the preschool age. I did homeschool Matthew through the preschool age up until pre-K, and then he went to public for pre-K, a little bit of kindergarten before returning back to homeschooling. I was also a preschool teacher, so you guys kind of have experience, I was also a nanny at one point. Excuse me. So I kind of know what I'm talking about, I think. I hope. I'm just kidding, you guys. I really do know what I'm talking about. So here we go. How are you guys doing? Are you guys okay? Are you guys handling everything okay? I know this is such a stressful time between the pandemic and the unknown, and the age. The age can get you you're very tired as a mom or dad or guardian. Trust me, I feel you guys. I was drinking like 3 cups of coffee at that point a day. Yes, that much, because my boy was up a wall, literally. But we still had fun and we still did school time, and I hope that I give you guys the knowledge and the confidence to do it yourself. It's also a lot cheaper. So if you can't afford preschool or daycare, this works. Obviously, if you have to work at the same time, it's a little bit more of a struggle, but I know you guys can do it. Anyway, we're going to start with structuring school time. And then for this reason, it's because at this age, ages 1 through 4, these kids need that structure. They need, obviously, meal times 3 times a day, snack times 2 times a day, their nap time. And then there's all those in between, which is what we're going to fill up. Don't worry about it. If you don't have a set structure, set schedule, or whatever you want to call it, don't worry about it. By 1, Matthew was no longer napping. I'm sure you guys can feel me on this. So, yeah, we did quiet time instead. But it's okay. If that's what your kid needs, go for it. Anyway, from the ages of 1 to 4, kids still can't sit that long. Even beyond that, but we're not going to talk about that right now. Kids can't sit more than 10 minutes at this age. So I advise on those in between is using circle time, craft time, and a lot of playtime. Now, I do have reading and songs and field trips, but we're going to talk about that in just a second. Alright guys, so we're going to talk about circle time first. Like I mentioned, 5 to 10 minutes is about their attention span. Don't go over that. Trust me, you'll go crazy, they'll go crazy, it'll be chaos. For circle time, we typically did the calendar. We would introduce the theme once a month. If you guys want to do more than one theme a month, that is completely up to you. But take it from my experience and my advice. One theme a month, like say zoo and fall, community helpers. There is a lot to be done within that theme to get you covered for more than a month, actually. So if you want to break it up like that, that is totally fine. But trying to replan things like every week or every 2 weeks is ridiculous. Just warning you guys. So take it about once a month from my experience. Find books in that theme, which we're going to talk about. Song time. So that's all what you're going to do. We broke it up twice a day at the daycare, but doing it once a day is fine. You'll get the hang of it to make it about 10 minutes. With the song time, that's when we got up and we moved around while we're still on our circle time rug. Or for Matthew, it was on the bed. We would always do it on the bed, but it worked for us, and he learned a lot. So, yeah. All right, moving on into after circle time, we would go into craft time. Okay, guys, so craft time or activity time, this is working on your fine motor skills, meaning those hand muscles, those pinchers, using Play-Doh, sensory bins. This is when all your art projects come out per your theme. I find it easier to base it all on a theme instead of free-flowing it. Pinterest will become one of your best friends on this. Trust me, you guys can check out my blog as well. I'll link that down below, unless you're seeing this on my course section of my blog, in which case you guys can sort through. I'll have everything pretty much organized, working on that. All this craft time, all this activity time goes over not just the theme, but the numbers, the letters, the shapes, the colors. You can even do, for example, C for construction, and you can make the letter C into a construction vehicle, or you can cut up shapes and have them glue it down to make their own construction vehicle. Just 2 ideas. For the sensory bin, I like to go per theme, so for that we do construction vehicles in a little bin with some either rice or some kinetic sand, and they can just play with it. It helps when you're transitioning from out of activity time, so you as a parent are cleaning up, and they can go do a sensory bin, or they can go play on their own for a few while you get that done. Moving on into playtime. Okay, moving into playtime, there's 2 parts to this. We're going to talk about the indoor part. Playing is so important. Most of your day should be playtime. A lot of the toys are educational. They do problem solving, the alphabet, the numbers, the shapes, the colors, etc. Imagination is encouraged. It helps your brain development. Role playing is so important. So having those, like the firefighter jackets or little toys, and pretending to be different people in different situations, this helps with your social development. This helps with emotional development. And as a parent, you're setting the expectations for when they go out into the real world. So what I mean by this is, if you're learning about, say, community helpers like policemen, firemen, post office, the doctors, wherever you may be, you're setting the expectations of what these people do, what their job is, what their uniforms generally look like, and how they help the community or help you if you're in need of it, right? You're setting the expectations of how the child or how you as a family are going to behave out and about too. It's also fun. You also bond. If you have more than one child or you do play dates, it helps with developing communication and sharing and regulating their emotions. I mean, there's so much to it. And then there's part 2, which are the playgrounds and being outside and doing your gross motor. Gross motor meaning there's running and jumping and biking and swimming and all sorts of stuff. It may not happen right away, but that's completely okay. Don't try to force it. They need to be outside. We did about an hour a day, twice a day. An hour a day for the whole day. It would be 30 minutes per twice a day. I hope that makes sense. And it really didn't matter the type of weather. We were out in the snow. We were out in the rain. Obviously you want to be careful and you want to bundle them up. But getting out, even just for a quick walk, helps. Okay, on to reading. I'm sure you guys have heard that reading 30 minutes a day is very important for your child's development, which is completely true. Libraries, obviously we're in the middle of a pandemic as I'm filming this, so not all of them are in person, or not all libraries have reopened. Some are doing pickup. Some libraries are doing them virtually, but they have programs for kids these ages where they read a book, they sing some songs, they have some fun. And it's really great time. You meet new kids, you just have fun, right? But you can also make reading a part of your day all the time. Does not matter what time of day. It could be in the morning during circle time. It can be during meal times. It could be at bedtime. It could be while they're in the bath. You are instilling the reading. That reading is important, and it helps with their vocabulary. They learn better as they go. They will learn the meaning of words. They will understand what the words are. That's the meaning of words. They will understand how to say words. And it's okay if you mess up a word or two. It happens. But they'll also want to read. They'll want to go to the library and get new books. They'll want to learn through books. And explore new subjects when they get older. It's so, so important. And just as much as reading is important and helps with brain development, so does songs and singing. Um, I like to have music on in the background almost all the time. We haven't done it as much because there's more than one of us working from home right now. But normally, when it's just me or it's my dad who was with him, music would be on all the time. And it didn't matter if it was on the TV. Not saying movie, but there are music channels on the TV. My dad knows all about that. Or the radio on, or CDs, whatever. Music is on. I mean, I'm sure you guys know when you guys are feeling sad or you're feeling happy or excited or whatever sort of way, you tend to put on music that reflects that, whether it's classical or pop or country or whatever it may be. Same thing with kids, they need that. It also helps with vocabulary, it helps with learning. Songs, there's songs about everything now. You can make up songs. I mean, it's just fun. And you get your body moving. It helps you regulate. It really is good for you. And it doesn't matter what type of music you put on. Like I mentioned, there's so many different types. Whatever works for you guys. Personally, I did all sorts of types. We did a little bit of classical. We did a little bit of pop. We did a little bit of rock and roll. We did a lot of oldies, a lot of folk, a lot of kids songs and soundtracks. Whatever works, it helped. And kids love music. They really do. They love to listen to music. All right, guys. Now we're going to talk about the themes real fast. With everything that I just spoke about, you can theme it up. Like I mentioned, the police, the post office, community helpers. You could do the zoo. You could do around the house and animals and all sorts of different things. I do have a fairly large list on my blog. If you're on my blog, just research it. It should be in the preschool section. This is just theme ideas. I will have activities and lesson plans and books that we did use for you guys. I'll have a printable as well for the lesson plans if you want to make your own to make your life easier. But if you want to just use what I did, go for it. Pinterest is amazing. Library, we use the library all the time. Even at the daycare, we did the library. I mean, we had a large collection, but we also use the library too. We just have fun with it. You guys can do everything. I do want to mention that it's okay to recycle themes. So say you do one at 8, at when they're 1, you could do the same thing at 2, 3, 4, and so on. They just go a little bit more in depth as they get older, and you know your kid best, and you'll learn what works for them. But remember, playtime, 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 having those toys, it really does help. Now, I mentioned a little bit about field trips. Field trips are fun most of the time. I know it can seem daunting, especially to having multiple little ones, or if your kid is a little bit hyper. We've all been there. Don't worry about it. But going to the zoo, going to museums, aquariums, the library, even just your daily life, like running errands, it's all field trips. It's all learning. You're setting the expectations. They're learning about different parts of life, about real life experiences. You don't have to do all that much. I will say that as they get older, they get more fun and you get more in depth. Like, oh, look at the panda. What does the panda eat? Or we're going to the museum. What about space? Children's libraries are awesome. Or children's museums, sorry. Aquariums are fun. You can do it all. Just plan ahead, theme it up, have fun. You have fun as a parent. Okay, guys, so the last two slides I'm going to mention, they are not necessary, but I just wanted to add them in just in case. If you wanted to have a bilingual child, whether you're a bilingual adult or not, you can absolutely do it. If you're a bilingual adult, if you say no French, I suggest you speak French to your child, as well as read books to them. You can put on movies in different languages, speak it to them. I mean, it'll just come naturally. From the ages of 2 to 12, kids pick it up like it's nothing. Like they just pick it up right away. Um, I will say that it's okay if your child does not respond back in that language, but they answer correctly. They still understand you, and their vocabulary is twice as big as, say, a kid that has is just one language, which is fine. It's okay. Both are fine. Now, if you're a parent that does not speak the other language and you want your child to have that, I suggest you learn alongside your child. Again, learn to read in both languages, learn to speak it with your child, and you can watch the movies, Netflix, Prime, YouTube. You can just put it on in different languages to help you. There are, again, library programs. There are classes with reading and songs in those languages. So I suggest you look it up. Have fun. It's great to expose your child to another language. But again, not mandatory, not necessary. Lots of people only speak one language, and it's perfectly fine. And then lastly, it's screen time. I threw this in because I felt like it was important. Pediatricians do say don't do screen time until the age of 2 and limit it to no more than an hour. That actually goes beyond 2, but if you do that, good for you. If you're screen free, awesome. I will say, I'm going to be real with you guys. That does not happen in my house. Never did, never will. Um, I'm going to be real with you guys. Most parents do not do free screen time, no screen time, whatever you call it. Um, Even pediatricians, my pediatrician is like, so they say this, but I'm going to be real with you. We put it on. All right. And I'm going to tell you, yes, it helps to multitask. I use it. I don't want to say it's a babysitter, but it does help. If you're cooking or you're cleaning, you're doing laundry, whatever it is you're doing, it does help. And especially when you're not feeling so good. There's a lot of music to it, but a lot of the shows that are aimed for young kids also cover problem solving, the alphabet, the numbers, the shapes, the colors, and so much more. I also found that it really helped develop in vocabulary, both in English and, well, we were doing French and now we're also doing Mandarin. He's a lot older though. He started that at 4 though. So you can also, obviously turn it into the other language, like I mentioned prior. There's educational apps. There's just so much that is out there to help with it. There's also YouTube channels about learning, about songs, just so much. And it's okay. It's okay if you use it. It's okay if it's 5 minutes. It's okay if it's an hour. Whatever helps you as a parent, your kid is still learning. They're going to pick it up. In fact, I honestly found that Matthew had the most complicated words and understood them because I allowed him to use screen time. Obviously, monitor, wow, I cannot speak today. Monitor it so that it's okay, but he had approved channels that he was allowed to watch, and that's okay. Still, he's now 7.5, and I still allow him with screen time. He still has approved channels that are obviously aimed at older kids, but he asks, Mom, can I watch this? Yeah, okay. It may not always be completely educational, but he'll get something out of it. Your kids are learning from the minute they wake up to the minute they go to bed. I know you may not realize it. I know it can seem daunting, but You guys got this. All right, anyway, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask below or contact me through the contact form on the course page or on the consulting page of my blog. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time.